Hi guys, and welcome to my book haul for the month of April. I've got I got a lot of books. Some of which were just like stress purposes. I'm gonna silence that. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. So the first, okay, so there's still two books. No, one I ordered that is supposed to be here pretty much any day. Today's the 25th of April. And this one book could be anywhere from today all the way until May 10th. So I'm just going to include that in May's haul. Yeah, even if that's the only book I haul, which it won't be because there's a pre-order that's actually coming in early, but it wasn't supposed to be until May 4th, but it's coming in this week. So there'll be at least two books for May. Okay. One thing I got was I had this book of collected stories and poems from a particular author that I have enjoyed what I've read, which is very limited, like maybe 2 or 3 things, but I have enjoyed it. And I've wanted to read more from this. And I had this collected works of this particular author. For whatever reason, got rid of it. And I regret that. So I found another edition of it. And I look forward to kind of slowly making my way through this at some point. But this is the complete tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe. So there you go. That's that. And yeah, so just, I think the first half is all the tales and maybe like, and short stories. And then the last little bit is poems. Yeah, it just says poems right here and it's very short. So I guess they're mostly short stories, but that's just fine. So yeah, I look forward to this. And the end pages are, that's a little bit better of an angle. Raven's feathers. And it's a nod to Nevermore. So there is that one. Okay. And then shortly, while I was at my grandma's house, for those of you who may not know, I've said it in a couple of different videos, but yes, she fell. But she is doing better than we thought she was going to be doing at this point. So, but yeah, so she's in her mid 80s, but yeah, we went, my mom and I helped to take care of her for a week. So anyway, and she lives in Colorado, a different state. While I was there, I almost finished, and I finished it 2 days after I got back. But while I was there, I went ahead and ordered the third in the Mystic trilogy. So I went ahead and ordered Mystic Mansion. And this is by Debbie Ihler Rasmussen. I actually looked up a video on YouTube where she says her name. So it's Ihler, Debbie Ihler Rasmussen. But yeah, so Mystic Lake and book 3, and this, and I think each book has gotten longer. The last one, this one I just finished was like 453 pages, I believe. This third one is 524, so each book's kind of gotten a little longer. The other book I purchased, I thought this was going to be a mass market paperback when I bought it, but it's just a standard paperback. But my mom pointed this out to me, and it's a cozy mystery. And, oh yeah, by the way, if you haven't figured it by now, I'm not going into description for all these books because this will be way too long. But anyway, this is a haunted library mystery series, and it's a cozy mystery series. And I saw the cover, and I absolutely had to get it. This is Death Overdue. It's the first one in the series, and this is by Allison Brook. There's obviously, you know, Halloween stuff. There's a stack of books, spooky cookies, Halloween, pumpkin balloons, a pumpkin bucket, and then a cat in there. So yeah, so Death Overdue by Allison Brook. Okay, so those I ordered while I was at my grandma's. Now, before we left, I had the next in the Fear Street collection arrive. This is Sleepwalker I need to look to see if the other ones are either now available or more at an affordable price. Because this one, when I first started looking, was like, I don't know, somewhere between 50 and 80 bucks. And it finally went down to like 10 bucks and then $5 shipping. I thought, you know what, let's do it. So yeah, so I am working on trying to recollect all of these. So I am happy I have that now. So The Sleepwalker by R.L. Stine. So then in the month of, no, it was this month, I read a book called was it The Traveling Cat Chronicles? No, The Guest Cat is what it was, by Takashi Hiraide. I absolutely loved the writing, so I wanted another book by Takashi. And I got this one. This is Fighting for the Spirit of the Walnut. It's just an image of a walnut. Now this, what I think is cool, and I've never had a book like this before. So about half of the book, I mean, and this is all poetry. It's just a collection of poetry by Takashi. So this half of the book, up until it has this lightning, is in English. This is in Japanese, or at least I'm assuming it's Japanese. Because I can't read it, so I can't tell you for sure, but I'm assuming so because I believe Takashi lives in Japan. I remember reading that somewhere. This is translated by Sawaku Nakayusu. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know, I'm excited, and especially where it's a book of poetry. I purchased this and I didn't read the synopsis to see that it was poetry. I just wanted more work by this author because I absolutely loved the writing in The Guest Cat. So, and I'm happy it's poetry. I want to read more poetry, but at least I think it's poetry. Yeah, it's poetry. So yeah, so the first half is English, second I believe is Japanese. So, okay. And then so I was looking for some books, and then I was like, I want to see if there's some more manga featuring cats. Or graphic novels featuring cats. So I found 2 mangas. One is the one that's supposed to be here for pretty much from today on until the middle of like March. What are we in next? May 10th. So this one arrived, and it is a series. I don't know how much is in this series, how many books are in the series, but it has gothic vibes, and it says Creepy Cat is the title, and it's kind of like I don't know, here's the back. So just this girl all in black and a white ghost cat looking thing. It says, My Life with Creepy Cat. But yeah, so it's a manga, and I actually kind of really like the artwork in here. So, but yeah, I'm really excited for this one. And I'm excited for the other one to arrive so I can show you. But so that's one grouping. So let me grab the others. So, okay. So you will have seen the ones I just showed you on the image for the video. Thumbnail. That's the word I'm looking for. And then there's a red bag. I'm doing the red bag last, but I couldn't hold up this bag, which is full of books. So some of these were not purchased. So let me grab those ones first out of here. I think that's it. Yes. Okay. Oh, this one too. Okay. That one's from the grocery store. Okay, go put this down and I'll pick it back up. Okay. So my grandma was going to send some books to the thrift shop or Goodwill or whatever you want to call it. And one book I buddy read with my mom, and I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I do want to try rereading it again to see if not just reading a chapter every couple of days, if that will increase my enjoyment of the book. So that is Beyond the Bright Sea by Lauren Wolk. So I am going to give this another try, so that I'm just not reading a chapter every day to a chapter, you know, every couple of days and things like that. So to actually really work my way through that. And then I'll just unhaul it if I just don't see myself trying to reread it. So anyway, so I brought that one home. These ones are the books that my grandma was going to give away to Goodwill, and she's like, take them if you want them. So I did. So I have Janet Ivanovich, Wife for Sale, and I know nothing about any of these books. Let's see, Deadly Collection by Elaine Flinn. Why not? Some of these authors, I've heard of two of these authors, the Janet Ivanovich, and this other one I'm going to talk about or just mention here is Burned by Carol Higgins Clark. I have heard of Carol Higgins Clark before. And then, okay, so the other one I haven't heard of this author is Deadly Nightshade by Cynthia Riggs. So there is that one. So yeah, these are ones that they were like, yeah, take them home, read them, enjoy them, and then get rid of them if you don't want them. Okay. Now, this one book is the odd one out of the rest of this sack. So in Durango, there are two grocery stores called City Market. One is on the north end of the town, one's on the south. So you have North City Market and South City Market. My grandma lives closer to the South City Market, and that City Market is crazy. It's loud. There are so many people in there, because I think that one's busier than the one on the north end, because the south one is closer to the train that goes from Durango to Silverton. It's also closer to this hotel, which is like almost just kind of down the street, kind of kitty corner, however you say it, to it. But I saw this one and that one. But even though my grandma's closer to the South City Market, her prescriptions and medication, she has sent to the North End City Market, and it's like maybe a 5-minute difference between the two, so it's not bad. So my mom and I went to get her medication, and I looked at the books that City Market has again. Saw this book in the North City Market, and I thought, you know what? I've seen this in both City Markets. I really like the cover. It intrigues me. I'm going to go ahead and get it. So I got it. It is Last Duke Standing by Julia London. So never heard the author, but I really like this cover. I think it's very pretty. And it kind of gives me Regency romance vibes. So I don't know. I definitely think it's romance, because it does say charming, cheeky, and cunning on the back. But yeah, so I got that at City Market. Now, the rest of the books in this bag, in Durango at their little public library, they have this group called Friends of the Library, where they sell gently used and definitely more used books. And the most expensive book that I got from there was like $4. So I got this bag stuffed of books. I spent $23 at the Friends of the Library sale. And considering that, you know, a hardback, if I were to go to Barnes & Noble, is anywhere from $20 to $30 minimum. Pretty good. I've got a mix of paperback, and I do have some hardbacks in here. So let's go ahead and get into this. Now this one I do know, I actually looked it up, and it's the first in another cozy mystery series. Loved the cover, and it is A Taste for Murder. And this is by Dixie, Lyle. It's Every Death Tells a Tale, a whiskey, tango, and foxtrot mystery. So you can see the cat there in the graveyard. So couldn't pass that up. Okay. And then I thought this book looked really cool, and this is Salvation by Peter F. Hamilton. So I think this one's going to be sci-fi. It's definitely set in the future, because it says 2204 on the back. So that'll be cool. And I've seen this one a bit, and I've heard some good synopsises or summaries of the book, and it sounds like one that I might like, which is Once Upon a River. And this is by Diane Setterfield. So there you go. Okay, and then, minus one book there. That was okay. So this one I heard people get really excited, but then they were very disappointed by this book. But when I've read the synopsis on this several times, I think I will really like this one. So it was like, what, $3 or $4? Let me see. It doesn't have a... Oh no, this was on the cart where it was, I could pick any 2 books and pay $1 for 2 books. So this book was like 50 cents. And that's The Escape Room by Megan Goldin. So I've never done an escape room. Part of me wants to, but then part of me is like, no. So, but yeah, so The Escape Room by Megan Goldin. Okay, moving on. And then there were a couple of Book of the Month books there, so I thought that was pretty cool. So, which is like this one. This one I think was $4. No, this one was $5, so I paid $5. We Could Be Heroes by Mike Chen. I think this one's, yeah, this says sci-fi right on the back, science fiction. So this is a science fiction collection from, they're embossed on the book, but this one is not. So this one doesn't have a year embossed. So this might not have been one of their monthly selections, but one that was additional. Don't know, don't care. Just found it and it looked good, so I got it. Okay, and then, let's see. Didn't I get another, I think that's the only Book of the Month book one that I got. Okay, so I got this romancy looking one called The Art of Inheriting, right? Yes, The Art of Inheriting Secrets. And this is by Barbara O'Neill. So, like that one. Now this one I looked up and it's the first in a series as well. Now I know it's not like under this whole franchise umbrella. I really don't know anything about this whole franchise other than watching several of the movies, but that's a Star Wars franchise. So this is the first in this particular one, which is, and I'm going to say it wrong, Thrain? I don't know. So Star Wars, and this is by Timothy Zahn. So this is the first one in this particular series of Star Wars. So if you have read this series, let me know if I should try and find the first like original Star Wars book or if it's okay to start with this one. I'm assuming it's okay to start with that one. Okay, the last 3 books that I got at the Friends of the Library book sale. And those are one which is by Lauren A. Forey. This is the author of Abigail Hall, and it's They Did Bad Things. I really like that sofa. I don't know. It doesn't, I mean, it might be comfortable, not too comfortable, but yeah, I don't know. I just was drawn by the cover and got that one. Okay. Now, these next 2 are by the same author, and I've read from this author before, and what I like about this author is that these are set, I believe, primarily in New Mexico, and definitely in the Four Corners area, but I think primarily in New Mexico. And I believe one of the ones, I may have read 2 by this author, were set in Farmington, which is where I have family that lives, in Farmington, New Mexico. And I wanted to try this author again. And there were 2 books at this library sale, and that is Tony Hillerman. And when I did read it, I can't remember, I liked the mystery setting and the fact that it was set in an area that I recognized. I don't remember if I liked the story or the writing, but I'll try it again. And if I don't like it, then I'll unhaul them and send them so that they can find a good home somewhere else. But I hope I'll like them. So Tony Hillerman. This one is Hunting Badger, and I also got The Sinister Pig. And there's Tony Hillerman right there on the back. So yeah, so Tony Hillerman, 2 by Tony Hillerman, and I'm actually really excited to get to these. So then there was a little bookstore that the last time I was in Durango, I didn't get to visit because it was closed. And outside of this little bookstore, they have a little kind of like this book house. It's in the shape of a house, and it's just where people can go and put books, and you can take a book for free. In that thing, I found this book, which is Inside the String by J. Lee Brown. It does say it's a Sam the Seeker novel, so it's more than likely part of a series. I don't know if it's the first one or not. What I was drawn in by the cover, but what really hooked me to grab this one, it says, deep inside the Rocky Mountain wilderness, an uncertainty looms. I live within the Rocky Mountain area, so I definitely wanted to get this one to see if there's places in this that I recognize, but I do need to check and see if it's the first one in a series or not. I have no idea, but I'll eventually get to that. And that bookstore, I did go into the bookstore that was right next to where I got that book. It was so small, which is fine, but it's like the aisles were so thin. I could walk down it fine, but I felt like if I tried to get a book off of a shelf, like there was some older classics like Peter Pan. If I wanted to try and grab that paperback edition, I felt like I was going to knock the whole stack over. So it was very confining. They had some kind of incense burning that smelled really weird to me. So that was kind of off-putting, but I can deal with that for a bit. But it was just the fact that I was so scared to pick a book off of those shelves out of fear of knocking a whole bunch of books over that then I wouldn't be able to get out of the aisle without cleaning everything up, because it would just be a mess and I couldn't walk anywhere. So I left that one, and I don't know if I'll be back to that particular one. So, okay, so then when I was in Durango, I found out that I was getting a little bonus from the place that I worked for people that were employed for a certain amount of time at the company I work for. It was $100, and it was just that here, maybe this will help a little bit with the increase in gas prices. So that's it. And I spent it all on books while I was there in an independent bookshop called Maria's Bookshop. And this was a good bookstore. This is definitely a bookstore in Durango, Colorado that I highly recommend. They are so nice in there. It is so clean. It's very well organized, and they have everything in there, you know, like the adult and young adult and middle grade, and then they have the like sci-fi, fantasy, regular fiction, nonfiction, self-help, religion, local to the area artists, which I liked, or authors, nonfiction stuff specifically about Durango or their surrounding area, which was cool. Didn't get any of those, but yeah. Anyway, so it was really cool. Highly, highly, highly recommend this. I think they gave me a bookmark for their store, so if there's a website, I will definitely put, yes, it looks like there's a website. At least there is on the receipt. I will put it in the description box. But Maria's Bookshop, it is on it's 960, so 960 Main Avenue, Durango, Colorado. Very, very nice group of people, and highly liked this store. Okay, let's get into what I got. So first thing I'm going to show you is my nonfiction book. And this is a kind of like a journal, but it has a bunch of writing prompts. Like here's a page out of it. So it is Get Untamed, the journal, and it has a cheetah on the cover, or a leopard. I'm going to say cheetah, but it says How to Quit Pleasing and Start Living. This is by Glennon Doyle. I am very much a people pleaser, so I don't know. I just thought this would be interesting, and I like things like this that are like guided journals, because honestly, one of my favorite things with like getting a new job or going to a doctor's office when you have to fill out the new patient paperwork, I really enjoy that and filling out the paperwork, so I think I'll really like this. So I'm excited to give this a shot. So I was intrigued by that. Okay, now there's one thing in there that I got that is not book related, and that is this cute little pen. Let's see if I can get a little. So it's got a really thin tip, and I like these really, really thin tips. It just has the little protector on it still, but you push the cat's tail to retract it, and so when it's in like that, the pen is out, you can write, and then when it's up like that, it's not in the thing out anymore. So they had a bunch of different colors. I got this one, and I got my grandma a yellow one, so love these. those are fun. That was fun. Okay, now back to the books. So I got, this is a graphic novel. And guess what? It's about cats. House Cat Trouble. This is by Mason Dickerson. So it's just, oh, yep, there's a bookmark from the bookstore. So, right, Maria's, oh, what's this one? Get rewarded for shopping local this spring. So this one's not specifically for it's just a promotional bookmark. Goodbye! So yes, so House Cat Trouble. And I thought, absolutely have to get this one, where it's all about a house cat. So, yep. Okay, now let's do this biggest book. I have seen this one floating around quite a bit, and I've always been interested. So I thought, I'm going to go ahead and get it. So yes, so I got Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. I've seen this on a lot of people's shelves, and it looks really good. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. I just have seen it, and I just thought it looks really good. And this one is the first book in the Expanse series. They did have more in this series, but I only got the first one to make sure I like it. And then I'll buy the others in the series as I read the series and as I continue to enjoy it. So, Leviathan Wakes. Interplanetary Adventure, the way it ought to be written. And that's a quote from George R.R. Martin. But yeah, The Expanse. Now, okay, so this one I got, and I think this one gives me cozy mystery vibes, and it's Tell Me No Lies by Shelley Noble, and it's a Lady Dunbridge mystery. And I'll leave these titles. Oh, here's a bookmark from Maria's Bookshop. I'll leave the titles of these books as well as the author in the description box so that you can go and look up, if you're intrigued by the title or the book cover, that you can go and look up the synopsis to see if it's something that you would like to read wherever you want to go, whether it's Amazon, Goodreads, or your independent bookstore by you, or wherever you want to go to look for it. So, but this one just gives me cozy mystery vibes, partly because of how the synopsis talks about it. It just gives that snarky, comedic, cozy mystery vibe. So I think this is a cozy mystery. Don't know for sure, but yeah. So Tell Me No Lies by Shelley Noble. Okay, now this next one I have wanted to try for such a long time, and I know this book series was made into a Netflix adaptation. So, and I have held off from watching the Netflix adaptation. It looks really cute, but I really wanted to read the book series first. To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. So I got this one. I'm excited to get to this one, and if I remember right, I know this is a series. It's the first in the series. It's a romance, and I think it's a YA romance, if I remember correctly from what I've heard about it. It's been a long time since I've heard anyone talk about that series. It was all the rage a while ago. Okay, this next one, I was completely sold by the cover. I can tell by the cover that this is a historical fiction, and you'll see when I hold it up. And I liked the title of it. On the cover, there's a stack of books. This is, I didn't notice this when I bought it. This is actually a translated book. So the author is Antonio Iturbi. It's translated by Lilith Zekulin Thwaites. I don't know. So here you go. This is The Librarian of Auschwitz. And I got this one in the YA section, so this is going to be a young adult historical fiction. Yeah. Obviously, it's going to be about World War II. Yeah, because of the Star of David, Auschwitz being mentioned, and it's obviously a historical fiction. Okay, so this last book that I got is a romance, and I like the cover. I think the cover is very nice. This one is one that I got out of the local authors section of Maria's Bookshop. So this author lives in Cortez, Colorado, which my grandma's sister, so my great aunt, lives in Cortez. But anyway, I wanted to support a local author, so I got The Do-Over. And this is by Bethany Turner. So maybe like The Do-Over makes me think it's a... What is that term I'm looking for? Where it's second chance, a second chance romance. That's just what I get from the title. Don't know if that's what it's about. It looks like this author also wrote a book called Plot Twist. There's a picture of it right there. But I don't know, I just like this kind of spring vibe. And bonus that the author lives in Cortez. I go through Cortez every time I go to Durango. I mean, they're like maybe 45 minutes between the two towns, between Durango and Cortez. So yeah, so I was excited to get that, and I think it's cute. I hope it's good, and I hope it's not too smutty and steamy is the word that people use. But if it is, it is, and then I'll probably end up donating it somewhere. But so those are all the books. I realized something, especially when I spent my bonus from work. Buying books and food is a way for me to relieve some stress. And when I was in Durango helping my grandma, I loved being with her and just keeping her company, watched a lot of game shows. And I would sit and try and read during commercials or game shows I was just kind of like meh about. But I loved being around her. But it was still very stressful having to take care of everything just because of the situation of everything with the fall and being mindful and having to help her get up from a chair and all of that. So buying the books, especially from Maria's Bookshop here, was relaxing and very enjoyable and very stress reducing in the moment because the stress was just like when I got back. But, so those are the books that I got. I don't plan on buying this many books a lot of the time. I have recently, but I really need to back off because I am out of shelf space. But my goal is to get it to where I read more books than I bring books in. Anyway, so just something for me to work on. But yeah, so that's all what I got. I am happy with all of the books that I got, and I'm excited to get to all of them. If there was a book that I held up, I know I didn't go into the synopsis because otherwise this video would be way too long if I did that for all of them. But anyway, if there's a book that I held up that you are interested in reading, let me know what it is, which one sparked your interest. If you read any of them, let me know if you liked it or didn't. Just talk to me in the comments below. That will be it for this particular video. So until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.